and a comparison between tariff and quota. So that I'm going to discuss today. And hope all of you know that your exam is coming. It will be on 15th of January. So I think by December we have to finish the syllabus. But the exact timetable is not coming yet, but it will come very soon, I think. So then we can understand from when we have to take the internal tutorial, all this type of exam. Uh, so it's better to assume that by December we have to finish the syllabus. Okay. So I think by today I can do it. But then after whatever class left, I will take or 2 weeks maybe there. So by that time, I will revise, not this unit, because this unit is already revised in online and offline mode. But the next units, the remaining units, the first 3 units, that I will revise. Okay, whatever time will be left. And at that time, you can also ask your queries from this chapter. Okay. So the optimum tariff and retaliation, this part is done. This is the rate of effective protection. Effective tariff rate. Effective protection means the level of protection which is there for the producer and the consumer, because whatever protection is given by the government, the total may not be accepted by the producer or by the consumer. Okay, that is the exporter or importer. So this is how, what is the ultimate protection they are getting from any type of incentive. So look at the first bullet, effective tariff rate. Tariff is basically given for the imported commodity. The effective tariff rate means it is the domestic value added. Okay, effective tariff rate is named as domestic value added. It is the price of the final commodity minus the cost of imported input. Okay, so if the tariff is imposed on the input, that means the price of input has increased. So the producer who are producing the commodity using those imported input, for them, what is the ultimate effect of tariff? It is the price of the final commodity. That means the price with which they can sell their commodity minus the cost of imported input. Okay, so this is the effective tariff rate or the domestic value added. Similarly, the nominal tariff rate is what? Nominal tariff rate is nominal tariff rate means the tariff which is actually imposed by the government. Now, if this tariff is imposed, the producers are charging the actual price plus tariff. Okay, this is the ultimate tariff. This is the ultimate price available in the market, right? As if you see, look, this diagram can be helpful. Yeah. Here, say that say it is subsidy, another incentive. Initially, the price was PW, but after imposing the subsidy, as it is imposed by the large countries, so the international price is falling to PS star, and PS star plus subsidy, PS, this is the ultimate price received by the exporter, right? So to the exporter, the price is increased to PS. So if the domestic consumers want to purchase the commodity, so they have to pay PS now. Initially, they could pay PW, but now they have to pay PS. So ultimately, what is the ultimate price to the consumer? Consumers are interested about the nominal subsidy, the PS. But producers are interested about PSW, because this is the ultimate subsidy they are getting. Producers means those who are the exporter. But the consumers, the general consumers, they have to pay PS. So they are only concerned about PS. They are not concerned about PS star. So this is why it is written as nominal tariff rate is important for the consumer, and the effective tariff, this is important for the producer. Okay, because producer is watching what will be the ultimate positive effect to them. Because if tariff is imposed, then in the consider now the import. In the import sector, if tariff is imposed and you are the large country, And in the international market, the price of your imported commodity that will fall, right? And after falling, whatever price is in the international market, with that you have to pay the tariff as a producer, as a importer, right? So in that case, what is the ultimate price? That is the price without tariff is called the effective tariff. This is important for the producer. But for the consumer, they are not interested about the world price. They are only concerned about the ultimate price. So what is the ultimate price? International price plus the tariff. This is called the nominal tariff. So this is why consumers are only interested about the nominal tariff, whereas producers are interested about the effective tariff. Okay. So this is all about the effective protection. Now, the comparison of an import quota and import tariff. We discussed both. So, what is the problem with quota? If there is quota, then as I said in the last class in the college, that if there is quota, then it is by force you are reducing the import. And after reduction of this import, there are some amount of excess demand which cannot be covered, right? Which cannot be covered either by the import or by the domestic production. And that is why price is rising. So as artificially you are reducing the demand, so there is a lobby. There is a lobby by the importers that I want to get the license of quota. Because once I get the license, I can import it from the international market and I can sell it in the domestic market at relatively higher price. Because as there is excess demand, the price mechanism is increasing the price. So now the price of the same importable is higher in the domestic market than before. Okay, so that is why if somehow I can get the quota, I love quota license, then I can sell it at the higher price. Okay, so there is a competition to get the access of this license, and as there is a competition, lobby is also there. So so many imperfections, so many um, unofficial things is happening behind the background. And the monopoly power is obviously there. Those who are having those quota, they are purchasing the commodity and they can sell it at the higher price. Now it is not possible for anyone to import. To import, you have to have this quota. Sorry, to have you have to have this license. Once who doesn't have, you cannot purchase. Only those who have those license, they can sell it out. Okay, so that is how the license holders of the importable commodities, they have some monopoly power over this market. Okay, this is the problem of quota, but in case of tariff, it is not. Anyone can import, but the only condition is if you are importing, you have to pay the tax. If you can pay the tax, you can import. So there is no restriction on your import. You can import, but you have to pay the tax. That is a restriction. But here you have to purchase the license first. So you have to make the lobby power, so many rate caps and these things are that things are there. You have to overcome all those, get the license, then you can purchase the importable good. So it is very difficult for the customer to import through the quota system as compared to tariff. An effective rate of tariff may be small if exporting countries can reduce their profit level. Yes. If you are importing, so the foreign country is exporting. Now, if the exporting countries are thinking that, okay, I will reduce my profit level. So they are happy with the product with the reduction of price. So they have reduced their own price. They already have reduced their own price. That PW is already reduced by the foreign country. Okay. In that case, you are imposing the tariff. So ultimate effect of tariff, which tariff means what? Tariff means you are increasing the price, right? So ultimate increase in price through tariff is lesser because the exporting country, they have already reduced the price through their own policy of reducing their profit level. So if it is happening, then effective rate of tariff is very small. So this is the problem from the tariff imposition. And again, the second bullet is not the problem for the quota, because quota is independent of the profit level of the foreign country. It is only concerned about the amount of import, okay, by the domestic country. Whatever quantity you can sell it out. No issue. So this is the comparison between import quota and import tariff. Sometimes small questions are coming on that, so it will be okay. Now regarding the Meslas paradox. As I said, Meslas paradox means you can understand the result is something different than the general case. Now, as I said, here I have to draw the diagram. Look, in general, okay, well, let me go there. It is better. Yes, look at, no, look at this. Here, the tariff is imposed by the domestic country. That is why the volume of trade is falling, the offer curve has shifted to the horizontal axis, and the terms of trade is rising. Okay. Now, if you compare the amount of import at this point with this point, what you can see? Look, yeah. Initially, this is your export, home country's export, and this is home country's import, right? This is home country's import. After tariff, that means after getting 0.3 as the equilibrium, the import of the no, something wrong is here. Okay, let me draw. It's better. This is the offer curve. Both offer curves are elastic. This is the offer curve. It is also elastic. So this is the initial terms of trade. Free trade. If there is free trade, then this is our terms of trade. Okay, fine. Now the volume of trade is falling. We saw it from the trade triangle analysis that the volume of export and volume of import both are falling, and that we can see from this diagram also. So this is the new equilibrium. Okay. Now, if you compare the volume of export and volume of import, then we need to draw. So after tariff imposition, this is the amount of export by the domestic country, and this is the amount of import by the domestic country. Done. Before the tariff, that means the initial situation, at the initial situation, this is the amount of export by the foreign country, and that was the amount of import by the foreign country. Look, both import and export, both are falling, right? So this is the thing about the tariff. If you are imposing tariff, this is in general. Right? If you are imposing the tariff, then volume of export and volume of import both should fall, and the terms of trade is rising. Okay, but in case of Mesler's paradox, what we are watching, let me draw Mesler's paradox here. This is the case of Mesler's paradox. In case of Mesler's paradox, this is the offer curve of the foreign country. Okay, and this is the offer curve of the home country. Done. So initially, when there was free trade, this is the equilibrium point. This is the free terms of trade actually. International terms of trade was here. Okay. But again, the tariff is imposed by the home country. So the new, where is the pointer? Yeah. So the new offer curve is here. Okay. So the new terms of trade is also here like this. This is the new terms of trade. Fine. So everything is okay. Now, if you want to check the volume of export and import, look, before the tariff, this is the amount of export by the domestic country, right? And this is the amount of import by the foreign country. After trade, just a minute. After tariff imposition, export is falling. No issue. Export is falling. But what about import? Import has increased. Hmm? So here we are getting opposite effect on import. Actually, we want to, tariff is imposed to reduce the import. But here, because of the tariff, the import has increased. Okay. So because of tariff, my import has increased. So this is called paradox. Okay. This is called paradox. That the objective of the tariff is to reduce the import. But in this case, because of tariff, import has increased. So obviously it is paradox. But we know that there is a reason, there must be some reason behind the paradox. So what is the reason here? Look, where I have drawn these two equilibrium points, for both the equilibrium points, the offer curve of the foreign country was inelastic, right? The offer curve of the foreign country was inelastic. Offer curve of the home country is elastic. But for the foreign country, it is inelastic. There comes the problem. Inelastic offer curve means what? Inelastic means the proportionate change in export. Offer curve is showing what? Offer curve is showing the proportionate change in export due to proportionate change in import, right? So here, if it is inelastic, so if that means if you change the export, the import is not changing by that level. So here, because of the imposition of tariff, when the large country is reducing its import demand, it is not influence, it is influencing significantly the foreign country because of its inelastic offer curve. Okay. So tariff is imposed by the domestic country. Its import is falling because price is rising for him. So in the international market, the aggregate demand for that commodity is falling. But as the foreign country, that is the another country, his offer curve is inelastic in nature. So the price is falling significantly there. When the demand is falling, price is falling significantly there. And price is falling, this is the world price now, so world price falling significantly. Say initially the price was 100, you have imposed say 10 rupees per unit as tariff. So that 100, we know that 100 rupees should fall. Okay, the world price is falling because it is a large country, it is influencing the international market. So that 100 rupees is falling. But as the offer curve is inelastic, now for the foreign countries, say that 100 rupees is falling to 50 rupees. Now, after this 50 rupees, and so what is the international price now? 50 rupees. On that, a tariff is imposed. And what is the amount of tariff? 10 rupees. So 50 plus 10, 60. 60 is the new price now. Initially, the price was 100 and now the price is 60. So obviously, as compared to 100, the price is lower than before. And as price is lower, so demand should increase. And that is why import is rising. Okay. So this is the reason behind the paradox. Any query up to this point? Any
No,
query? Okay. So this part I discussed. Now, only these portions are left for the syllabus. That is the last unit for me. So I have discussed my syllabus. I think I have finished the syllabus. Now, if you have any query, you can ask me. Okay. If you have any query, you can ask me. You are free to ask now because I have finished the discussion portion. If you have any problem, any query, any question regarding any slide or any point, any heading, you are free to ask.
Ma'am,
Yes.
tutorials and internals will be held online or offline?
Look, your exam will be online, right? Na? That is what decided by the syndicate.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think the total exam will be online. Very unfortunate because the
Okay, ma'am.
classes are in the offline mode. But what to do? This is the decision of the authority, so we will follow it.
Yes, ma'am.
Aja, I'm just going to ask some question. Mm,